What just happened in Bitcoin's world makes the last decade look like the tutorial level. David Sachs hit the stage at Bitcoin 2025 Vegas.
So, we just had the first 100 days in the administration, and it's just incredible how much the president's gotten done just in the area of crypto. It's really amazing. I mean, I never do this, but there was so much that's happened in the last 100 days. I have to pull out my cheat sheet. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, how much time do we have?
I know,
Because
but
this might take a little while.
Let me just highlight a few of the most important things. So first of all, you're right that on the president's first full day in office, he pardoned Ross Ulbricht. So that was 2 days later. He signed a week one executive order to promote U.S. leadership in digital assets. That EO prohibited CBDCs. It ordered the end of Operation Chokepoint 2.0, and it created our President's Working Group on Digital Assets that I'll get to in a second. In March, he established the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, which treats Bitcoin as a reserve asset of the United States for the first time. And then we also hosted the first Digital Assets Summit at the White House, which is the first time that digital assets or crypto has been treated in that way as an industry that's arrived. There's also been a ton of work that's been done on the sort of agency rulemaking side. The president rescinded the IRS's DeFi broker rule. We rescinded SAB 121, which effectively prevented banks from getting into custody of Bitcoin. The DOJ ended its regulation by prosecution approach, which ended these aggressive legal actions against digital asset firms without telling them what the rules are. I mean, we had this approach under Gensler where he would say, well, just come in and talk to us. I heard all these stories from crypto founders that they were told, well, just come in and talk to us. And then there'd be someone from the enforcement division in these meetings writing down everything they'd say. And then the next day they would get a Wells notice and the prosecution would start as well. Who would want to, people learn very quickly not to go in and talk to the SEC. So the DOJ has ended that. The SEC has established a crypto task force to provide regulatory clarity. Hester Peirce has done an amazing job with this. The Federal Reserve Board, the OCC, and FDIC have all issued favorable guidance for banks to engage in crypto-related activities, which I think is a very important step to further mainstreaming crypto adoption. And then my personal favorite is that the administration defunded the CFPB, which is Elizabeth Warren's personal regulatory agency. This was her personal goon squad to terrorize crypto companies, and that got defunded. So that's just a small sample of what's been accomplished in just the first 100 days. Is pretty incredible. And then, you heard from Senator Haggerty a minute ago what's happening on Capitol Hill. There's the stablecoin bill's about to pass, the Genius Act, and then I don't think that's going to be the end of it. I think on the heels of that, there's also a market structure bill that's coming that I think will also likely pass before August. And the point of the market structure bill is to enshrine all of the new rules that we've put in place into law so that a future Gary Gensler can't just unwind everything that we've done.
Yeah, that's a tremendous list, and that's definitely larger than the amount of promises that were made. So it's promises kept and then some.
There have been a couple of times where, in rooting out all these insidious rules that were created over the last 4 years, some of them, we've received some serious pushback, and occasionally it's had to go all the way up to the president. And what the president always says is we have to keep our promises. I mean, it really is a point of honor that he made these promises at the Bitcoin conference last year, and he has kept all of his promises. That is very important to him.
That wasn't just a flex. That was a victory lap. And David Sachs laid it out. 100 days of no nonsense executive action that pulled crypto out of the regulatory basement and to the main stage. And the message was so loud. The war on crypto is over. Good guys are back in charge, from regulatory chokeholds to monetary freedom. Bitcoin didn't just survive, it got invited to the table. But if you thought that was big, Trump's next move is even bigger. The big, beautiful bill. It's coming, and if what we just saw was the appetizer, the main course might break the internet. So strap in. If you like these kinds of content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that every time we do a live broadcast or publish these videos, you will be notified. Doc Vince, see you on the other side. Ciao.